Greetings one and all, and as always I hope you're well. Benny D88 had his Soundstar Mk II stolen. I'm sorry to hear about that. Must be upsetting. He says he's tried lots of different mics, but he always felt the Soundstar sounded better and there's no feedback. And he said he can't justify 500 to 600, I don't know what country he's from, for a beat up. Someone else's beat up. Secondhand, obviously. Soundstar. Well, I think if you're lucky, you might see them for about £100 on eBay. The shop over the road, Rock Bottom, actually, has got one in. Don't know, it may be worth, they'll ship it to you, I'm sure, wherever you are. Rock Bottom Music in Croydon. You can find them on the web. On the end of my videos, some of them you'll see that thing. I know they've got one there in the cabinet, I've seen it. For around about 100, maybe a little bit more, I'm not sure. Anyway, I could test it for you before they send it to you if you wanted. Other than that, he did say, is there a new modern version? Well, that's a reasonable thing, isn't it? We're going to keep going on with all these old mics. Isn't there a modern alternative? And I thought, from what I remember of the Soundstar, which I have an immaculate one here, sorry to wind you up if it's you've just lost yours, but I thought, what about the V7? SE V7 of the ones I've got. I'm sure there are many in this area, kind of price. And then I'm going to also include my venerable 1970s dual impedance SM58, because everybody's so used to that. And I've grown rather fond of, physically at least, since I put the new top on it. And I think it's a good reference for everybody. So we've got the Earthworks SV33 here. And let's go straight onto the Soundstar and see what I notice. Not really comparing it to this. We're going to compare them to each other, of course. What do I notice as I move on to the Soundstar? Well, immediately I notice that at the top there. I notice that. I notice what would appear to me to be that it's quite fast in that area, which isn't as high as all that. So it seems to have a lot of detail there. And it's got a nice, reasonably pleasing warmth down there. Is truncated somewhat, I would say. I have noticed in fiddling about that it so happens that the 12K on this desk, if I take it down, this desk, can you hear that? I'll boost it a bit, the 12K. So fairly high up, this has got some stuff going on. So you could reduce it there. What's the middle like? Here's the middle, here's the middle, here's the middle. Middle is fairly benign, I think. There's not too much boosted at that. That's 2.5, so I guess that's fairly flat. And here's a little bit of the low end down there, which sounds to me reasonably clean. Now everything's flat. Handling noise tends to be an issue with these older beyerdynamic mics, so you're going to have to be careful with that. But you're used to it anyway. Moving on then, I thought the V7. Let's have the V7. Now I'm on the V7. Nice enough. What did I notice? As soon as I breathed in, I noticed the somehow seemed a bit soupy, sounded a bit thick, not detailed, a bit like a 58, SM58, which I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't tried to copy that. So that's what I noticed moving on to that. What happens if I boost the top a bit? If I boost the top a bit of the V7, that's the 12K, it's a bit much, and it's a bit if I boost that. Here's the mid of the V7. Here's the mid of the V7. The mid of the V7, which is 2.5. You could do that maybe a bit if you wanted a bit more. Here's the V7 flat. Here's the V7 flat going to the M400 flat. This is the M400 flat. I'm not going to say anything for once. Well, I've already said it, haven't I? My reaction. But I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. So this is the M400. And this is the V7. Okay. Let's go across to the vintage SM58. Sorry about the buzz. Well, that's interesting. There was a buzz on the 78. I think it's the cables down there and the mains and there's at least transformers for everything. I had it on the 78 and I moved it, the cables, moved them around away from the transformer. And I thought, okay. And I switched on this. I've obviously moved this one in a good old figure. Actually, I'm going to get some shorter cables and just have them all on the top here instead of going around the back and down. Shorter cables would be better anyway, so I've got to sort that out. So now, yes, I'm on the SM58. So I'm on the SM58. Let's move across to the V7. This is the V7. This is the V7. It's got a bit more, this is the V7. This is the 58. It sounds a bit muffled. This is the best of the 58s that I've come across, I have to say, which is why I'm rather pleased that I've got it, because I didn't appreciate it. It's a dual impedance one, so it's 70s really. They stopped doing them in 84, and as I've said in other videos, this was old and beat up when I got it in, and I got it in 84. So I think it's got to be 70s, and I compared it with the new ones, and this sounded more open, just better to me. Anyway, so this is the best, I think, of the... I haven't tried every SM58, obviously, but of those I've tried, this seems to be... The earlier one seems to be the one to go for, if you can find one. So this is the SM58, and we're going to go between the SM58 and the V7. And this is the V7, and this is the V7, which is clearer, I think, clearer than the SM58, clearer than the SM58. This is the SM58. I'm going to go between the SM58 and the M400, which I've done before in a previous video, which I sent one off to Spain as a friend, to a friend who needed a mic, and I had one of these and spare, and I tested it and sent it off to her. Did the test between SM58 and this one. So this is the SM58, and this is the M400. This is the M400. This is the M400. Depends on what you like in a mic. So I think that's enough for you to hear. Will I do? Yeah, I will just quickly go through. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Kind of average. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of much the same. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Not much in it really. Different frequencies and what have you. Here we go. Down to the side, round to the side, round to the side, round to the side. Quite tight there. Quite tight at the back because this one's cardioid. So tight there. Still maintains a reasonable tightness around the back there. And that's cardioid and handling noise. Pretty good on the SM58s. I've found pretty much as no worse than anything else. Probably better than some for sure. So that's the SM58. This is the V7, which is buzzing. Sorry about that. And going around to the side, not the mic, it's a cable. So going around to the side, wow, that's tight. Yeah, but this is, of course, super cardioid. So you've got the leakage there and very, very tight, tighter than the SM58 round there. And on here, it's handling noise. If you've got headphones, you'll hear it's low. So you could probably cut that. I'm going to cut it at 100, which is too much for my voice. Cutting it at 100. Bringing it back, you can hear there's quite a lot of thunder down there, so you need to be a little bit careful with that. Here, I'm cutting at 80 hertz on the bass control. That's probably going to be better, but you can hear it affects the voice as well, so not too bad. You just got to be a bit careful with that. You can't have everything, can you? This one then, on the front, I can't remember what this is. I would have thought it would be cardioid. Let's see. Coming around to the side, coming around to the side, coming around to the side, coming around to the side. Quite tight rejection there. And he said no feedback. That's good, isn't it? Coming around to the back, coming around to the back, coming around to the back, coming around. There's a bit of leakage at the back there, but I'm suspecting this is cardioid. Really? I don't know. Oh, yeah, I'm suspecting it's cardioid. It's very tight round there. But you're not going to sing inside of it. So just have to be a little bit aware of that. And back on to the front of the M400 Soundstar. I think that's about it. Back on the 33. Soundstar, lighter than to my kinesthetic sense. Lighter than these two. These two, about the same, I feel. Soundstar a little bit lighter. There you go. Of the mics I've got, anybody got some suggestions? Put them in the comments, obviously, but of the mics I've got, I don't know what to say to you, really. I don't think as I imagined, the SEV7 would be fine for you. If you're used to this, I think you're going to be a bit disappointed. I do think, I know it's a risk, secondhand, and blah, 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 blah. But I think get yourself another Soundstar if you like it and you're used to it, and it is a good mic. It obviously is a good mic. I might compare it with one I haven't used for a while, which is the M700. Anyway, enough for this. Keep well. See you next time.